Hey folks!
Hey, it's April and
Caroline.
And we decided to do a little segment called Make This for the First Time. And so we're gonna make something for the first time that I've kind of come up with.
So you mean first time, like this is
the
unprecedented?
first
This is the first time anyone's ever made this. That we
know of, because this is a riff on shepherd's pie. We're calling it Rancher's Tot Pie.
Now, did you know that shepherd's pie is technically a British dish using lamb, but over here in the West we use ground beef.
And that's why we're calling it Rancher's.
Rancher's pie.
And instead of mashed potatoes, we're gonna use tater tots and do a little hot dish. Hopefully, that's the thing. So let's just get right into it. And
do you want to tell everybody what we've got here?
We don't know what's gonna happen.
We don't.
But we've got a little bit of olive oil, and we're gonna heat up our cast iron skillet. It's already heating up some. Did a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe a tablespoonish, two tablespoons.
Enough to cover the bottom.
Couple of rings there. We'll let that heat up. I've got the stove on to medium high. And then we're going to use some ground beef. But before we ground beef it, we're gonna put the onions in and get those nice and soft.
White sweet onions.
Some white onions, yellow onion. I like the Vidalia onions. And then we've got about a cup of carrots, half a cup of frozen peas, half a cup of frozen corn kernels. Oh, and our oven has preheated. So the oven is preheated to 450 because when we put our tots on, we're gonna want that to
get
really crispy there.
Crispy.
I also have some chicken stock and some condensed soup. So we have this recipe on homesteadinthecity.com. It's our homemade condensed soup. Now I had frozen this, so I don't know if it's gonna come out okay or not. It's real clumpy, but we'll see, because this is our casserole pretty much, or if you're in the Midwest, a hot dish. This might be more hot dish appropriate, but we're just gonna see how it works out. Let's go ahead and dump our onion in.
Sizzling.
We're gonna let that get nice and tender.
Is this a whole onion, April?
Yeah, it's a whole onion. April diced, so meaning not very even.
It'll cook down. We'll break it up.
So while we're cooking that, we also have some herbs.
From the garden.
So this is about a teaspoon of rosemary and a teaspoon of thyme.
Those are some of my favorite, that's my favorite combination of fresh herbs.
When you smell it, it's just like, we're cooking now.
Yeah.
We're cooking. And I have 2 garlic cloves, some Worcestershire sauce.
How do you say Worcestershire?
I just say it real fast so nobody knows what I'm saying.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah,
Worcestershire sauce.
Nobody knows.
All right.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put that beef in. Slide it in. Put that plate away.
All right. That's gonna have to cook down a little bit. What kind of beef is this, April?
Well, this is a leanish beef. This, you don't have to use Wagyu beef, but there was a sale. So I have some Wagyu beef right here. But you want to use a lean cut, because we're not going to drain the fat out of it. So
we want all the flavor.
We want, as Brittany says, fat is flavor.
Brittany would be proud of this dish.
She would be. Since she's our casserole queen.
She's our casserole queen.
Yeah. I was talking this through with her, and that was where she suggested the condensed soup, because she said it's not a casserole.
That's right.
Without that thickening agent.
She would say emulsifying. Bring everything together. It's not a casserole if it's just a bunch of individual ingredients thrown in a pan. It has to come together.
Come
Become
together.
one. One with the dish.
Probably as I'm looking at it, because again, making for the first time, I might reduce down my onions. But then again, I really like onions, so I might do half of an onion instead if I'm gonna do 1 pound.
Juice is cooking. So are we gonna wait until the beef is browned before we put our garlic in, or?
Well, I want to get it a little more brown. It doesn't have to be completely brown through. And the reason why I'm doing the garlic later, I didn't want the garlic to burn and get too crispy. But you can go ahead and throw in the garlic.
Okay.
There. Get all that goodness.
Oh,
I worked hard to.
April did.
I worked hard to mix this up. So that's what we're doing.
I'm gonna waste any, because you know, good homesteaders.
I know. Don't waste.
Don't waste. We waste. We don't want to waste.
We don't want to waste. We're getting better with our waste.
We're learning.
Learning from our waste.
Good homesteaders. It's like I think I'm an expert homesteader. What?
We're no experts, but I hope you're enjoying the journey. Let's go ahead and throw the carrots in too.
All right.
The other thing that I didn't mention, we want to salt and pepper to taste. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of that. Just crack in some salt. Or pepper. Crack in some pepper. Sprinkle in some salt. Don't be afraid of the salt.
It brings out the flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead and dump in the corn.
This was frozen corn, right?
Yeah, frozen corn. Just need some frozen corn kernels. Nothing too fancy. It's your casserole after all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Worcestershire sauce in there.
Hit it.
And then let's go ahead and put our herbs in too.
Okay.
There's really no rhyme or reason with us on this.
Again, making it for the first time.
For the first time. I hope our tater tots fit in here.
Well, we want them. They're gonna be like covering the tops.
Yes, they will be.
They'll do.
Look, I'm making a mess too.
It's warm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're doing a great job, April.
Thanks. You are too.
Thanks. Just making sure this pan doesn't get away from you.
That's good. I appreciate that. I'm gonna dump the peas in.
All right.
Put our peas in. And then I think I want to do a little more pepper.
Okay.
I was grinding
a little
it.
more.
I was grinding it with this, so it wasn't going in at all.
So we have a little more pepper.
Yeah,
about
but that's actually the right amount of pepper.
You wanted.
Yeah, there we go. Works out.
So, point taken, when you use your grinder,
you remove the little cap there.
It acts as a pretty good barrier.
Uh-huh.
Prevent the pepper from actually going.
Alright, I'm gonna put in a little bit of this condensed soup. Start stirring that in. Okay, well that makes it pretty good, I think. So we're just gonna put that whole bit. That's about half a cup of condensed soup, and then
you use whatever condensed soup you want.
Yeah, if you want to use
celery, mushroom.
If you want to use, I'm
chicken.
using chicken, but if you wanted to use like a, if you wanted to use a can, you can. You can use a can, whether you want to do cream of chicken, cream of mushroom. And then we're using some chicken stock. I have about 3/4 of a cup here. Put a little more in, but maybe not all of that. You just we're feeling it out because we're obviously pretty soupy right here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna let that cook down. Alright, everything's cooked at this point. Ooh,
It's getting a little crunchy at the bottom.
Also, the carrots I used, in case you know, you may have noticed that they're multicolored carrots.
Not just orange.
You can use orange, just orange,
I'm gonna take it
but
off
I happen to have a little extra. There. Let me taste this. Let's do just a little more salt.
Okay.
Because you have to consider also the salt content of your chicken stock or broth and then the condensed soup. So if you're using a can of condensed soup, it's probably going to be saltier than what you make, unless you happen to make it really salty at home. But if you're following our recipe, it probably won't be that salty. Okay, I'm going to turn off our stove. Scrape the bottom there. You want to keep doing that for a minute. And let's kind of shift it a little that way.
Off the eye.
Off of the eye. We've still got it good. Go a little that way. Alright. And now kind of flatten this out. And we're just going to take the tots.
Okay.
And put them around.
Oh no. I cannot do this.
And hopefully this idea will work out. We'll see.
I'm gonna have to take the mitt off. Hopefully. It's got about as good as the scalloped cucumbers were doing.
Yes, if you missed our guess the method, we've got several guess the methods coming up. But that's where we make like really gross stuff.
This is better.
Yeah, this is intended to be good, so hopefully it will be.
And we decide how it's made.
Yes. When we make it for the first time, you're with us for the first time.
I'm so afraid of burning myself, April.
I just burnt my hand, so.
I learned today that April has an insane tolerance of heat.
I think I have a high pain tolerance. I also.
She could just have lost some nerve cells.
Yeah, that too. Don't have a lot of feeling in my fingertips. It comes from just grabbing things right out of the oven because I'm too lazy to get the oven mitt. Not like the pan, not the hot pan, but sometimes you put a little something that you're heating on the piece of foil. But the cold tots feel really good on my hand. Rancher's Tot Pie. Right there. Rancher's Tot Pie. We're gonna stick it in this 450-degree oven. And I chose 450 because that's what the tot bag said. And why don't we do this for like 20 minutes?
Sounds good.
So we're gonna set that timer for 20 minutes and see what happens.
It says 28 to 32.
Well,
So
okay, we'll see. We'll
check on
it.
Add more time if we need to.
Yep. So we've pulled our Rancher's Tot Pie out of the oven. Give a good look right there. Look at it, it's pretty.
It smells so good.
It smells good too. I mean, you can't beat potatoes and meat.
No.
So I got some chives we're gonna top it with. Ooh, okay. Look at that. We got our beef there. Everything kind of thickened up a little bit. Hopefully our...
Still on its shape. So how long did you cook this for?
What did we do? We did a little bit over 20 minutes. We let it crisp up a little bit more. But
About 25 minutes.
yeah, but it smells good. All right. It's really hot, Caroline, so we probably need to be careful. We don't want to burn our mouths on camera.
Or eat. Wow.
I dig it. meat and potatoes right there.
This is tasty.
So, there it is.
The tops are crunchy.
Yeah. Rancher's Top Pie. We made it. It's another thing to go into the casserole section of homesteadininthe.city.com. Hopefully Brittany would be proud.
I think she will be.
Yeah. Maybe we should call her. Be like, come over, get some. Oh, she's at camp. Never mind. She's gone. We got crispy. You got soft. You got meaty. You got potatoey. What more? Yeah, there's even vegetables in there, so you don't feel so bad.
It's just all around comfort food.
Right there. So, first time we ever made it, but we're pretty pleased with it. All right, well, thanks for making it for the first time with us. We'll post the recipes so you can make it for the first time too. Bye.